Hey, hi, I'm Deanna of the Moon, and this is Witches Sunday School. We're going over Andersen's fairy tales from the old stories. This is where I'm going to go over and talk about all of the symbolism and the lessons underneath the Christian lessons that you need to know about when dealing with the fae, astral, just femininity. Let's get into it. Now, the character in this one is much different than in the Garden of Paradise before it was the king's son. Now, this is just some old crone who wants to have a baby and she can't. This is a bastard daughter. No power. No power whatsoever. She has no choices whatsoever. I had to change locations because gardeners be gardening. But, so this old woman goes to a fairy, somehow meets a fairy. And this fairy is like, oh, you want a baby? Yeah, I can absolutely help you with that. Here's a seed. Okay. So she sells the old woman a seed for 12 somethings, 12 pieces of money, 12 money pieces. 12 is indicative of a complete cycle of completion, 12 months in a year. It is wholeness unto oneself. So this seed is worth wholeness. The child is born and she is absolutely loved and adored by this woman. She is primped and preened and given beautiful things in her home. And one day she is kidnapped from that home. Now, kidnapping can represent the change from childhood into adulthood. This reluctant journey into adulthood and what that means as from going from girlhood into womanhood and the responsibilities that come with that. So she's kidnapped by this frog mother-in-law, and I think we've all heard of this mother-in-law, the one who has the plan. That the plan is the plan, and we do not deviate from the plan, and you're going to marry my son, and nobody has anything to say about it, because my son is my son, and all he can say is ribbit. No, this girl was going to be cared for. Like, she was going to have a home. She was going to live with a family. She was going to have potentially whatever she wanted, but she did not want this life. She decided she did not want it, and she spoke to nature. She spoke to the fishes. She spoke to the stream, said, I don't want this, and she was set free. And I think the key here is that decision and the saying it out loud of the, like, I don't want this. And then everything around her conspired to get her away, to free her. So she's still on this boat, she's gliding down the river, and a cockchafer comes along and takes her. And this, I just kept stumbling over this because I'm like, why is this named that? Hans Christian Andersen. I'm sure it was an entomologist who named the cockchafer, but maybe it's an apt name. I don't know. But it was fun. So the cockchafer is enamored by little Tiny, and he loves her, and he brings her back to all of his friends. And everything's fine until all of the girls start talking about her. All of the women start gathering and are like, she's not even that pretty. Ew, why do you want her? She looks like a human. She's not like us. Ew. And the cockchafer is immediately like, well, yeah, maybe I don't want her. That's not a man you want either. You don't want someone who's going to be fickle when someone comes around and says, well, why do you even like her? So she's finally free. The weather is warm. She's outside. She's living among the flowers. She loves it here. She hears the birds in the sky and she feels the warmth on her face, and she's alone and she's obsessed. She loves it. She absolutely adores it. And then winter comes. She's freezing. She has nothing. Her clothing is torn. She has nothing to put over her. She is weak and tired, and she has nothing. And so she runs, and she comes upon a field mouse who, honestly, she kind of likes the field mouse. It's generally a really nice lady. And the field mouse says, yeah, you can live with me. Absolutely. Come and live in my home. Come and enjoy the beautiful things that I have. But you have to work for me. This is going to be a working situation. You're not really my friend. You're just going to, you can live here, and I'm going to kind of take advantage of you. Oh, but don't worry, because she had a really, really amazing neighbor who was rich and amazing and fantastic and wore velvet, and this was going to be the perfect match. This is going to be the most perfect match. So she's like, okay, fine, I'll meet this guy. And he turned out to be a mole who always constantly lived under the earth. And this mole took her on a walk, and they came upon this dead bird. And he said, this guy's not like decomposed yet, but like how good of a bird can he be if he's dead? Like that's kind of like the attitude that they had about this bird. And little Tiny was like, I remember being out in the sunlight in the summer and hearing the birds from the trees and like just really, really loving that. And she just feels so much for this bird. She's like, I have to do something. So she goes back to her room after that and she weaves a blanket for this dead bird. And she goes back to the bird. She creeps back and she, like, in secret, because she doesn't want anyone to know, she creeps back and she puts the the carpet that she weaves over the dead bird, and as she's draping it, she kind of lays her head against the bird and she hears a thump thump. And she's like, the bird's alive? What? So she brings it back to life. She nurses it through the winter, and the bird watches her through this time, and it's just like, okay, I can't do anything. I'm almost on death's door, but I'll allow you to do this for me. And as the winter goes along and as spring warms up, they become friends. And when he's about to leave, because he can't live underground, he's a bird. When he goes to leave, he's like, will you come with me? Like, I kind of care about you now. And she's like, I feel really, really obligated to these people. You know, I couldn't have made it through the winter without these people, so I feel like I really have to stay here. I don't really want, in her heart, she was like, I don't really want to be here, but these people did so much for me. And so sadly, the bird leaves and she goes back and she's to be married to the mole. And there's spiders weaving her gowns, and she's got 5 different sets of clothing. And she's just sitting there like, this guy doesn't even like the sunlight. And so she decides, like, right before she's going to be married, like, I can't live here. I can't do this. I have to listen to my heart. I cannot take this life. So the day before the wedding comes, and she's just sad. And the field mouse is like, okay, go say goodbye to the sun. Go say goodbye to the upper world. I guess you need this. So she's standing at the door and she's like, farewell, my love, the sun, farewell to the sun. And greet the little swallow for me, if you would, if you should ever see him again. And all of a sudden she hears a tweet tweet. And the swallow is there, waiting for her. And he's like, let's go. Like, all you had to do was say so. Let's go. So because the winter is coming again, the swallow flies her down to his winter home in the warm areas. And it's beautiful. And he says, this is my house, but like, we're gonna have to make you something different because up in the tree is not gonna work for you. And so it was very clearly like a friendly relationship. He just simply wanted to help her. And so he flies her down to the ground, and there's all these flowers, and they open up, and out pops the most beautiful man she'd ever seen in her life. He was the Edward Cullen of fairies. He was sparkling, he was crystal, he was absolutely gorgeous. And not only that, but he saw worth in her. He saw the 12 in her. Now, this is where the king comes in. He is the king of all of these flower fairy people. And so, while she always thought that, like, she was just this nobody born to a crone, she was a flower person because she was born of the flower, just like all of these people, all of these fairy kingdom people. So she finds her worth in this place. She finds her community in this place. So she says yes to him, and she's given fairy wings, and she's given a name. Like, the prince was like, they call you Tiny? What the hell? Now, Maya, the name that she's given, does not have a Danish translation. This is a Greek name. Maya means great mother, midwife, nurse. He gives her, like, comfort. You will be a mother to all of us, and we will love you as a mother. We will honor you and delight in you as a mother to all of us. This story gave girls and young women the decision to choose, the ability to see that there are more choices in a time when there weren't a lot of choices for young girls. I love this.